when the 2001 men's soccer team reached the NCAA semifinals, my family and I were in Quebec for Thanksgiving. And once the Ospreys had reached the final, we hurried home day after Thanksgiving. It took us 16 hours because it was snowing terribly. And then the next day, we headed to Messiah College. Tom Greitz was with me. That trip took a long time too. Now, Grandin, PA is so sleepy that Tom and I were looking for Snow White, imagining that she was in town having been knocked out by the Queen's Red Apple. It took us an hour to find a restaurant. So the first question for those of you who are not into soccer is, why do rational people do crazy things like this? Well, the beautiful game is both our religion and our addiction. The British author Nick Hornby, in Fever Pitch, wrote about his undying love for Arsenal, and he said, for alarmingly large chunks of the day, I'm a moron. Perhaps a better answer yet comes from the legendary coach of Liverpool, Bill Shankly. Once he was asked how soccer rated compared to the big questions of life and death. Oh, he said, it's much more important than that. And so it was for us that memorable 2001 season. Soccer in the fall, as the weather gets colder and the leaves begin to fall, always make the nights in Larry James's place very special indeed. But the team's 2001 campaign, right after the traumatic days after 9/11, produced a season that helped restore in us a sense of normalcy, of life as Americans knew in more innocent days. The joys of victory in the weeks after 9/11 were sheer therapy for us. There were days that we, as a college and as individuals, began to heal as the team went on from victory to victory. After that terrible attack on America, this team gave us hope again. Led by all Americans, you've heard of Jeff in the middle, Brett Rattler on top, and with the towering Mike McIllernan at the back, the team strung together 25 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. It strung together 16 shutouts with a remarkable freshman goalie, Brett Steinberg. It strung together a phenomenal record, 88 goals, with just cold-blooded finishers as Dave Mattis, John Apley, and also Steve Bilstein. And so it came to be that this magic championship night culminated a season that had taken on special meaning after what the nation went through that fall. I mentioned the weather that Final Four weekend. Conditions made the pitch nearly unplayable. And yet, there were our Ospreys going up, getting tied twice, and going up again. Our boys played like dervishes, like man possessed. On the far side, Jamie Nelson made barely visible runs through sheets of wet snow. That magical night, he was as fast as lightning. And the likes of Kufte, Hawkins, Harner, Ferrin, Ford, Muckley, Dotson, Lambert, Myrick, Cavagnaro, Mayone, and Agasio carried the can toward our extraordinary strikers. And as the second ticked away, we were soaked to our bones. We could feel our heartbeat banging in our throats until at last we heard the final whistle. It was over. And all that was left was to cut the net. For me, after near 40 years at this college, it remains the best day in Stockton's history. It was the night boys became men. A band of brothers forever embedded in our souls. That band of brothers also included Vince Colubiali, John Geiges, Nick Scavidi, Tommy Tudelo, Alec Walker, and backup goalie Ryan Williams, who made contributions on and off the pitch, as did, of course, the assistant coaches, Chris Wiener and Jimmy Connor. As time marches on, the team's legendary status continues to grow. The players also became individuals who've grown in responsibility, maturity, and leadership over time. Those qualities were crafted under the very significant guidance of one man, a man who understands the balance between academics and athletics, a man whose personal attention to academics led to dramatic improvements in the team's graduation rates then as they do now. A man who insists that players' demeanor off the pitch is impeccable. The man who, on the shoulders of his predecessor, Tim Lanahan, built the best team we ever had. A man, finally, who I'm honored to call my friend, and I'm about to introduce him to him now. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and give a warm, give a very raucous welcome to our current and 2001 men's soccer coach, Mr. Jeff Haines.